Welcome back, everybody, to Live Your Dream. It's about you. And again, we are live, the song by Eric Tyler. Here we have my first guest, Lisa White. And like I said, she's an activist. Thank you so much for coming on my show. And on such short notice, I appreciate that because it was just yesterday that we were talking about this.
Yeah.
And I'm just so excited to have you here. And I know you want to talk about voting since obviously tomorrow is an important election.
Yes.
So I'm going to just go ahead and give you the floor and just go with whatever it's in your heart. I know you prepared some documents, whatever you want to talk about.
Today is a day right before the voting booths open up for the primary election. And I can't emphasize how important it is to make your voice heard. The people that are coming up in our, I know many people don't want to get involved in politics, but the people that represent us and make decisions on our behalf, your voice is important that comes about tomorrow. I understand the concern that has been voiced to me and people talking to people in the community that you don't feel like your vote counts, and I can assure you, I checked on the computer and I did a mail ballot, and my vote was counted, and that means a lot to me as a woman. Actually, looking back in history, women were not always allowed to vote, and it was the women before me that took a stand for that freedom and that liberty. In the past, African Americans were not allowed to vote, and many before them had taken a stand for that freedom to be able to do so. And actually in the past as well, ex-cons were not allowed to vote, and now they are allowed to vote as well, their voice be heard. I take a stand for myself, I take a stand for my ancestors, I take a stand when I think about the choices, the tough choices that we have to make. And it's a pivotal time now, and in looking towards our future and our children's future. And I'd say that I encourage you, whether you're Green Party, Libertarian Party, Republican, Democrat, whatever party you're a part of, vote. Put your voice out there, make yourself heard, and I say this too is whether your party gets elected or not, when you put in your ballot, you can have the confidence in knowing and peace of mind in knowing that you voted for someone, even if that person does not get elected into office. At least you made your voice heard in that element. Because every single person's voice matters. I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the things that I've done in the past regarding the First Amendment and free speech. I participated in peaceful, nonviolent demonstrations that were initiated for change. I've participated in peaceful, non-violent demonstrations against police misconduct and abuse of power. I was a part of Black Lives Matter. I marched in the parade in that march as well, and I started something different. I actually held hands with a former person that served in the military, and I was blindfolded. So he held my hand the entire march, blindfold. I was a blindfolded woman, and he served in the military, and he was standing up against police misconduct.
That's powerful.
Thank you. It was a very courageous move. I didn't realize until I started really getting involved, because I care, how much opposition I would actually be up against. I've making demonstrations against unconstitutional surveillance, namely the Patriot Act, and any surveillance unconstitutional technology that impedes American civil liberties and freedom. I've marched against Monsanto, the monopoly of our food supply by such industry causing physical and governmental harm to the environment, and young ones, many lives have been lost from this monopoly, against the war in Syria. I've danced in 3 Billion Rising, which was a movement bringing awareness to putting a stop to rape and sexual violence. I have marched in the Pride Parade, standing up for the LGBT rights and freedom. I have been a conscientious objector against factory farming and animal cruelty, which started with in my kitchen, which I became a vegetarian for over 2 years. And I thought, would I ever stop? Would I ever see a subside in animal cruelty, and within my lifetime? And in all 50 states, there's laws against animal cruelty now, from the farm to the pet to wildlife. And it was a huge victory for me to see in my lifetime.
That is huge.
And I've supported gay marriage. I've supported equality for all marriage. It'll be a good day to me when it won't be gay or lesbian marriage. It will be just marriage. And it took great courage to stand up against injustices that were caused through peaceful demonstration. And so I again emphasize, go out there, vote tomorrow. Just take the time to put in your ballot. And even if it's not tomorrow, put in register to vote for the election in November. It's a huge election. We've had our first African-American president ever in history to be elected, and the possibility of a woman, being able to be our next president. And that's huge.
Yes,
that's
that's
revolutionary. Huge. So,
especially when you say, like, when women didn't have the right to vote years ago, right? And to go from that to a woman president, that's beyond huge.
Yes. And there was a time also women weren't allowed to be to walk into a church. Only men were allowed to be in a church or to speak. So they had to be the voice for women. Now the women can speak for themselves. We can actually have a voice. I also want to say it's almost the idea of how children once were. They're better seen than heard. Mm-hmm. And now children, they have a voice. Our future, our children have a voice. That's a celebration of people taking a stand for change. And though it may have then people over time, little by little, maybe many years have gone by, and then all of a sudden it clicks and the change happens, and that's a huge victory. But it was many people that it was you, it was me, it was many people that said, time for change. I want this to come about, and then it comes into play because there's people like you and people like me that care about our environment, that care about our economy, they care about the voice of our children, the voice of minority groups that haven't had the opportunity, equal opportunity, that many people have possibly taken for granted. It's almost like, if you're deprived of water for a while, when you have that running water coming through your faucet, it's like, oh, thank you for being able to have that running water. So, and that's what I take a stand for when I think of equal rights. I think of everyone, every diverse group having equal opportunity. and to rise to their greatest potential. And that's one of the things I have the confidence now to say that I back up Hillary Clinton. I also have the confidence to say I back up some of these I'm loyal to Hillary Clinton in my decision this year to back her, but there's other wonderful ideas that are coming about through other parties that are running for office, like Bernie Sanders and these other people that are running for office, and maybe the names that haven't been covered in the mass media, that maybe they didn't have the money to have money to be covered or to get that word out there. But I think it'll be a good day when rather people competing in political office actually see, well, this is a good idea. How can we work together? How can we work on this possibility? This, and shaking hands and seeing, well, this person has good business sense. What can we do to work together rather than taking a diplomatic approach and making these changes coming about.
I'm just sitting here and just like, I can't even tell you how just amazed I am at just everything you said. And you're right. I mean, just different voices. It's important. It's important that everyone gets heard. And you're right. Voting is a big thing. And even though it feels like, well, I don't know, or if people don't like the candidates, then pick the one that you like the best of the candidates or something, or you hate the least. I don't care. However you look at it. And then like what you were saying about animal, it's like you've touched all the things that are near and dear to my heart. I mean, I always say this, there are no accidents. I mean, I met you by, it seems like coincidence yesterday, but here you are on my show just before the big voting day, and we're talking about this just important stuff, and you're touching all these things because I feel like my purpose is to spread love and light and help people, and I think I shared with you maybe a little bit of the different organizations and different people I've had on here, but you've touched on the veterans and animals, and those are like so close to me, I can't even tell you. And I've had those nonprofits here supporting those, and then also too, I mean, just people in general. I mean, my parents were immigrants from Italy, and it's like, and they were proud to be American, and just the opportunity, I get goose pimples, the opportunities I've had as an American. I'm very proud of my Italian heritage, but it's like we're American, and it's like we take it for granted of what a great place we're at, that we can have a voice. And like you said, to have the process of, women couldn't speak. They couldn't even go into churches. I didn't even know anything about that. I'm like, come on, they can't even see God. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, what? I mean, just hearing all of that, it's just, I can't even tell you. It's just like so amazing. And then also too, just having wonderful people here who are people like yourself who are trying to make change and trying to support. And I mean, I don't even know where to go. I mean, the one thing I do want to say, though, is that this all kind of ties in with, it also ties in because I've had Angel Galvez, he's running for District 1 in Tulare County for the Board of Supervisors. And he's got an amazing story, very humble beginning, just like, my own humble beginning. And just, he's there for the people and the voices. And he works right now for Tulare County, involved in some like people with mental health issues and stuff. And he's very, so people like that, everything just kind of fits together. And of course, like I said earlier, you didn't get a chance to see that one, but you will. The Justin Bond with ourheroesdreams.org, helping veterans and helping people understand post-traumatic stress disorder. It's not just from the battlefield or just from being in the military. It's coming back and your life is different. All of that. And then, of course, there's, like I said, Dwayne Andre, and he's involved with Team Amen, which stands for Artist Musician Entrepreneurial Network. And it's so incredible. And then you were talking about the LGBT. I've had The Source, which is in Visalia, the LGBT organization, nonprofit, and they've been on my show twice, and it's just like all this stuff, it's almost like you're bringing it all together. It's like, this is totally, I don't know, it's a God thing. That's all I can say. It's divine, So, but I just want, and I want you to, because I'm not sure if we have another guest or not. I was unclear about that, so I got to double check on that. But I would like for you to maybe talk anything else that you want to say that it's important you want people to know. But also if you want to touch on any, like, I know you're working on kind of a nonprofit thing or whatever your projects are that you want people to know about right now that you think is important. If you just want to talk about, finish up with the voting, whatever it is that you want to do, because again, it's about you. This is your time. And I thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And look, we kind of look like we could be related, and we're not. So, okay, so go ahead.
I really appreciate you giving me the honor to be able to speak today. And I know it's so last minute, and I was just, I was sitting last night, and I was thinking, what's on my heart, and what time is the time is now. And so one of the things that has been on my heart, I volunteered for over 2 years at the LGBT Community Center, which is a nonprofit. It has been open for over 6 years. And it's the first LGBT exclusive nonprofit that I have been a part of, and it has broadened my horizons, and as an activist for equality for all, it is a wonderful place that is a resource center, and I would like to speak a little more about that now. I was hoping that in a process of the rent being raised on the building that we were in one time, a change of ownership, and as any nonprofit is based on donations from the community and involvement in the community, financial contributions, they fluctuate. And a lot of times there's not a steady income to keep the essential needs of a place alive. And it is important that the doors remain open. And my passion now and a spark from that was that I was hoping to see if anyone is inspired. I'm going to talk a little bit about the LGBT Community Center, to donate a building to this place so they never have to pay rent, and it would be a tax write-off.
Huge
Tax write-off, and if you have a large mortgage that you have to pay, it would relieve that by just donating it, getting rid of it. And if you own it, that's perfect. Just someone that is the president of LGBT Community Center is Chris Jarvis, and you can contact him at Chris at gaycentralvalley.org, which is right underneath my name, Chris at gaycentralvalley.org, and it would be wonderful if we had the possibility of the money that comes in not having to pay for keeping the lights working and the water running, but rather it go out more to getting more resources and helping the community in a larger capacity, and that we always have a foundation of our home. And one of the things I was wanting to start from this spark of idea is that no nonprofit should be without a home, and no, without the walls to support the community that would benefit the community. So the Community Resource Center is a center. We offer free condoms and lube, free health literature, a lending library and DVDs of various genres, unique LGBT books that either the content itself is LGBT related, or the authors are outed LGBT authors, which is a courageous move for people to
definitely
be an LGBT author, and it is unique in the center. Their donated books to the LGBT Center from these people that is not something you normally find in our regular community library. So that's the unique thing about the center. For this literature, we offer free Wi-Fi, the free use of our community computer, it's a free event location, designated safe place for youth. We have the big triangle safe place. We're designated place. We have couches that people can sit and read and just do their homework and feel comfortable and safe and be able to express themselves. It is a place not just for the LGBT recognized individuals, but also allies that stand for the LGBT people.
People like myself.
Yes.
Because I'm straight, but that doesn't mean, I mean, I'm totally supportive. Yeah, it's great. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted, because I agree with you. That's what popped into my head too. You know, sometimes people get nervous about, well, what are people going to think? It's, again, equality for all. You said it all. That should be like our sound bite. Because that's what it is. It's equality for all. We don't say, oh, it's a gay marriage, it's a straight, well, whatever. You just say marriage. It's about love. Bottom line, everything, it's either about love or about fear. And fear stands for false evidence appearing real. So it's to get out of the fear and get into the love, and let's all support each other. I mean, that's what it's about. We could do so much better instead of fighting each other. You know, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, so I just, when you said that, I'm like, I totally agree. And I don't know if your organization has, because the source is in Visalia, so I don't know. And they've only been around, I think, since maybe March or something. So I'm sure you guys are going to be, and they probably have already talked. I don't know. Brian is the director there, so, but I'm sure, knowing Brian and just how the organization works, I'm sure. And yeah, this is just so exciting. But I didn't want to, I know we probably have a few minutes to wrap up. I didn't know if there was something else. And then also too, if you, I know it's on the screen, but if you want to tell people how to get a hold of you, in case they need to call you or talk to you, or just whatever they want to reach out for the organization or whatever, or better yet, donate, right?
Yes, donate. Oh gosh, it would be a dream come true. It's something that I've been hoping for since last year when we had to move into another building, and we're blessed to have. I say blessed because I speak from spirit in that way.
Oh, it is blessed.
It is wonderful that we have a building now. We're next to an attorney center and two buildings that accommodate that have offices for attorneys and a massage place for healing. And then across the street from us is another empty building. And I had the idea that this building across the street that used to be a club, that it just, it's a possibility that it would just be wonderful if it could be opened up to as an LGBT center.
Wow, that's a great idea.
It is the Club Babylon. It's a Club Babylon. And if the owners saw this and was inspired, to see how many people, youth, parents, adults, people of all ages come to the center and benefit. And we also offer Rainbow Delegation, this Rainbow Delegation bracelet that I'm wearing. It's a Rainbow Delegation hub. And we offer free pamphlets, business cards, and literature from local participating businesses. And we also have a free clothes closet, and for anybody who is in need. So we accept clothing, donations. And originally it was for the transgender, but now it's for everybody. So anybody that has a need, we offer clothes.
And I'm sure you accept donations for clothes as well.
Yes, yes. There's one other thing that I would like to touch on that is close to my heart, and I'm going to wrap up what I want to say. I did a demonstration. I hope that I've taken my notes. I marched in Pride, conscientious objector against factory farming, equal marriage for all. I also started something based on an inspiration that I had while picking up litter. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story. Just really quick, and if you feel inspired and you want to do this too, it'd be interesting to see if this starts a movement. I started something. It's called FOZ, but I'm going to let it be a mystery to you until I put it on Facebook, and it's under one of my core groups. I have several groups on Facebook connected to my page. It's called Important Causes. And the movement was inspired by going out with my mother and my nephew, who was 5 years old at the time, to pick up litter. And this was last year. So we went around the block in her neighborhood, and we each had a bag. And my nephew picked up a piece of candy that was with his bare hands and put it in his mouth. And it just alerted me. So there was a little piece of candy, and we said, no, don't put that in your mouth. You could get sick. You don't know who had that in their mouth. And what inspired this change is also, I noticed him picking up cigarette butts and putting them in the bag. He's only 5 years old, picking up cigarette butts and with his little bare hands. And I began to think, a little 2-year-old could pick up a cigarette butt, because toddlers, their communication is through their mouth.
Right.
They want to, put things in their mouth and taste it.
Right.
And one of the things that took a very long time to bring out to the public was how addictive tobacco is. How addictive. There was a huge fight against the tobacco companies to bring into reality that tobacco is addictive, and doctors used to prescribe cigarettes to people.
Oh.
And there was huge advertisements. I mean, you know,
yeah, I remember.
to smoke,
Right.
to smoke cigarettes.
They glamorize it with the camel and the cowboy and all that stuff. Exactly.
Yes, and the Marlboro man died of lung cancer. I mean,
doesn't that tell you it all right there?
Yes, but it was a huge walk as people before us to be able to have the right to vote, to expose the effects of tobacco. And I would like to bring about, because he picked up a piece of candy, is how sugar affects the mind and the body as well.
Oh, yeah.
And there's now disclaimers that the evidence is there. The studies have been done that sugar affects the young to old, and it starts very young. I mean, people get a sugar rush, and a lot of times little guys get incoherent about their surroundings, and they don't think, about what's going on around them, and so they pick things up, and they, and how driven people are from young to as they age, to starting from soda to candy to eventually to beer or gluten drinks. And what
Because alcohol is sugar.
Yes.
Even
yes.
wine. I mean, it's all sugar, Yeah.
There are different types of sugar.
Right.
And what I would like to emphasize is refined sugar, processed food, and highly processed food, and high fructose corn syrup. And this movement of picking up trash is I want to emphasize, if you decide to pick up trash, go within a 2-block radius like I did. And when picking up the trash, is the first question to ask yourself is, when I pick what I pick up, can it be recycled? Number 2, what is the most common type of trash I pick up? What type of trash? Where does it come from? I found personally, while doing this simply for 1 hour in 2 different locations, the trash was soda cans, cheap beer bottles, candy wrappers, cigarette butts, fast food containers, mostly McDonald's, and Little Caesar pizza boxes. And one more, polystyrene containers. Then number 3, what looks like lost and found items. And then I made 3 signs, contents of all 3, questionable things I picked up, and I used all the trash to make signs, is what I did.
Oh, so you
And-
recycled it.
Yes, I made all the trash, and I made 3 different signs, because some of them, there was so much trash. It took. I'll wrap it up. It took 3 signs to make it, and I put slavery or choice on the sign.
Wow.
So
That's just amazing. You know, and it's funny because sugar, I mean, it's definitely, I would call it a drug. I mean, you know, really, I'm talking about refined, just like you say.
yeah.
I mean, people just, so I know myself, I try to stay away from it as much as I can, but when I engage, indulgence, a cake or whatever, I feel sick. And I really see the difference in it changes my personality. I feel like I'm allergic to it. I mean, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Like you said, I can't think clearly. It's like, no, oh, you're just amazing. I don't know what else to say. You're a kindred spirit in all different ways. I mean, seriously, you are, I mean, a gift, because I still can't believe how I just met you yesterday, and you're willing and able to come on today and right before voting. Okay, I can go on and on, but I know we need to wrap it up. My tech is keeping me online here. But, okay, so just outline, if you could say, I know it's on the screen, but just say how they can get a hold of you if they have any questions or want to get involved or want to donate or whatever. And I know the key is vote, vote, vote. So,
Yes.
but whatever it is, I mean, I can just tell in your eyes you're so passionate about this, and so am I. I get goosepimples. You can't see that on the screen, but just take my word for it. Anyway, so go ahead, and then we'll wrap it up.
If you have any more questions about this move that I'm trying to start, donating to the LGBT Community Center, which would just benefit so many people, the community, you can contact me at lisa@gaycentralvalley.org.
And then also, too, like I mentioned, the Source in Visalia, so there's also that organization as well, but I'm sure they're all working. I would be surprised if you guys haven't reached out already. So anyway, thank you so much for being here, and I swear I feel like we're a kindred spirits, and I just met you yesterday. It's the honest truth. So so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back. Thank you so much, and thank you so much. You're just doing great things.